Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while. I have torn a ligament in my thumb, and so I have not really been able to work on a whole lot. It was not doing any of this that I tore it. It was actually playing volleyball. Anyway, today we are going to be working on this Craftsman 28-inch snowblower with a 9 horsepower Tecumseh engine. A neighbor contacted me about it, and basically he says that he got back problems and then stopped using it, and it's been several years since it's been started or used or anything like that. So it has power steering, so this is one side, the handle, the lever for the power steering. On the other side, the lever has come off, the pin has come out. He does have the lever. I ordered a new pin, and so let's put that in. Alright, let's get going. I took off my brace and put some gloves on. We'll see how that goes. I'm probably going to edit this video quite a lot. It's going to take me much longer to do these things than it normally does because you'd be surprised how much you need your dominant thumb for doing pretty much everything. So I have the lever here. I didn't have to get a new one. He had it already. So let's just try and get this cable back in there. Hopefully you can see this. If not, oh well. So we got that, like that. And that seems like it works. Now I need the pin. Just pushing the camera button hurts. I don't know how I'm going to get this thing done today. Here's the pin. It's a 3/16 pin with a groove on it. E-clip goes on the end. Okay, the E-clip size ended up being 1/8. Right there is 1/8. Alright, let's see if I can get this on here. And there it goes. I got it. I feel so accomplished. Right there. Look, it's on. Takes me forever to do anything. Everything hurts. Alright, let's move on. The next order of business, I'm going to get the motor to work. I mean, this thing looks, again, brand new. We don't get a lot of snow in this area, so most of these things are really, pretty nice. Yeah, let's take a look at this part. Wow, that hurts. Yeah, this is going to take a lot longer because I'm going to have to do everything with my left hand or with tools. That is a little bit white. I'd say this thing has been running lean. Let's crank it over and see what we get. Yep, we got sparked. You see it? Let me do it again. Good. At this point, I'm just tempted to go right into the carburetor. I want to at least drop the bowl and see what that looks like. So the first order of business is to get this tin off. So there are two Phillips screws right here that have to come off. Along with a couple of 5/16 nuts or screws or bolts or whatever. One up here, there's one over here. Anyway, let me work on getting these off. Alright, all of those screws are painfully out. Now, I'm just going to drop the bowl to see what's in there. The owner couldn't remember whether he ran it out of gas or not before he stored it. Let me see. Wrong way, that way. And if he did run it out of gas, this thing may not need a carb clean at all. That does not look bad. The idle hole and the jet, that's still all good. Good. I'm hoping to see cleanliness when I pull this off. What do you think? What do you think we're gonna get? Oh, I like it. I like it. I think he did run it out of gas. So I'm just going to wipe this out and spray out this jet. I'm going to take these welding tip cleaners and poke out the jet real good. Now this thing, based on the spark plug, is running lean, so it may have a surging condition. We may have to come back and drill this jet anyway, but if I can just kind of clean it out really well and get any crust or scale that's on the side of it off, maybe it'll run okay. We'll see. So that, and we don't want to forget there is a tiny idle jet there on the side. So let's poke that out. That one will work. Yeah. There we go. That's good. Spray this out. Good. All wiped out, ready to go. So let's put this thing back on. Good. All right, I checked the oil. It has oil, a little bit low, but it's got it. It's all right. Something's not quite right here with this carburetor, so I'm going to take it off. Actually, you know what? I'm going to remove the jet first and take another look at that. I pulled the jet out. It looks fine. Nothing is clogged or anything. Because of that, I'm just going to go ahead and remove the carburetor and take it apart and see if it's, give it a quick clean, see if that helps. If not, then I will... Well, we'll go from there if that doesn't work. I pulled the two mounting screws and disconnected the fuel line and the primer line. And all that's left to do is disconnect the throttle linkage and remember which hole that goes in. It goes in that front one nearest that notch. There we go. Okay, so got the carburetor off. Bowl came down, and so let's see what we got. So looking at this carburetor, there is some buildup of crust and stuff in it, so I'm going to clean it. I'm not going to take you through the entire thing step by step. I have plenty of other videos on how to do carb cleans like this. So I'm going to link to one of those videos, and you can kind of watch in fast motion. I don't know how much of this carb clean that I'm going to show. But basically I took the float, the pin out, taking the emulsion tube out of this. I want to see what those O-rings look like. Yeah, kind of crusty, one is stuck up in there. Yeah, so real quick carb clean. Take this little jet out. air jet. Looks pretty good. Nothing really plugged in there. Anyway, so that's basically it. That's basically the disassembly. You want to make sure that where that air jet was here, that basically connects to these three little holes here on the inside of the carb body. You can kind of see them in there. You're going to spray that out, make sure that's all cleared. All the passages up in here are cleared. And yeah, put it back together. So I'm going to do that and bring you back after I'm done. Sprayed out all the passages. Looks good. So now it's time for reassembly. Okay, now ready for reassembly. So what I'm going to do first is I got 2 new O-rings here for the emulsion tube. If I can pick them up, maybe this will do better. So 1 O-ring on one side, another O-ring on the other side. Like that. Take your emulsion tube, stick it back in, poke it down till it stops. Good. Let's see, we'll put this idle air jet in. Okay, let's see what's left. Float and needle. Let's see, this is gonna go something like this. The spring, the clip, the pointy end points towards the air intake here. I don't know why that is, but that's what Tecumseh says, so we'll make it point that way, like that. Looks good, just about level, just the way I like it. Let's see, carb bowl. Like that. Good. And main jet. Good. And last, you can put this little black plastic cap over the intake, or the idle air jet. I'll do that off camera, but basically that's it, all assembled. The carb clean didn't work. I had my doubts about whether it would work or not, and it didn't. The next step would be to drill the jet, and my micro drill bits go from number 61 through 80. The jet that's in there, a 184 jet, is like around, I think, a number 57 bit, and you drill it out, you know, one step further to like a 56, something along those lines. I do not have those drill bits. I ordered a set of drill bits, number 41 through 60, and I ordered a new carburetor, and whichever one arrived first was what I was going to use. And the carburetor arrived first, so you will not get to see me drill a jet. You will get to see a carburetor replacement. Actually, I'm probably just going to put this on and then start it up and show you how it runs. But anyway, I want to get this snowblower out of here. So the carburetor came first. That's what I'm using. Yeah, I'm not going to make you watch me do musical carburetors. So I'm going to put this on and we'll see how it runs. New carburetor is installed. So let me put some gas in this and we'll see if it runs right. Alright, got gas. Sounds like it's priming. Throttle. Start. Well, the snowblower ran, but it really didn't run as good as I hoped it would run, and so I started comparing the old and the new jet, and I found out that this new jet is drilled out to about a number 55, whereas this one is about a number 58 or 57. So this jet may be slightly too big. Might be good for a 10 horsepower or something, but it's not quite running right. So I'm actually going to drill the old jet out and just stick it in the new carburetor, which is already on the machine, and we'll see how that runs. Okay, so here's the old jet. It's drilled out. This is the number 56 that's in it now. And the new jet, this number 55 bit, goes in easily. It's actually a little bit bigger than 55. So I'm going to try this old jet in the new carburetor. If I didn't know that the drill bits would be arriving the very next day after the carburetor, so if I had known that, I would have just not installed the new carburetor or not bought the new carburetor, but such is life. Anyway, it's already installed, so I'm just going to put this drilled out old jet number 50 to number 56 into the new carburetor, and let's see what happens. I let it run out of gas, and it's all warmed up, so let's drain the oil. Alright, I tipped the snowblower up on its bucket. I drained it of oil. You saw that. Tipped it up on its bucket. Now we're going to have a look inside. I'm going to take these 4 screws or bolts off, pop this bottom cover off, and see what we got. Let's pop this off and see what we got. Alright. Overall, not bad. Just needs a little bit of lithium grease on these gears, and that should be about it. Let me show you how the power steering or the steering works. So basically you're coming along like this. You pull the lever to steer right, I guess, and what it does is it lifts up this pawl here and allows this wheel to free spin like that. So the only wheel getting power is the left wheel, so it steers it right or left depending on which way you're going. When you let the lever back down, that pawl engages and it cannot free spin. See how that works? Pretty neat, huh? It's got a nice coat of grease now. Not too much. You don't want it flinging off and getting on the friction disc, because that'll ruin your friction belt here and mess up the self-propel. So don't want that. So at this point, everything in here looks really good. So gonna close it back up and I'll bring you back. All buttoned up. Let's put some oil back into this thing. I use this stuff, synthetic 5W30. Synthetic is good because it doesn't get thick in the wintertime. It maintains its viscosity. Alright, now I'm going to adjust the bucket height. So this is a 5/16 or so inch thick piece of ceramic tile that's sitting under the scraper bar there. And what I'm going to do now is loosen these the two skids on either side, those two bolts, and make them touch the ground. That way this scraper bar is about 5/16 inch off the ground. You don't really want it to be scraping on the ground, because if you hit, you know, sidewalk joints or stuff like that, it's going to tear it up. You can see this one already is a little bit torn up over there on the corners, but yeah, it is. But it's alright. Should be good for now. And we get it adjusted so it doesn't tear it up anymore. I also take a wood shim and stick it under the front of the skids so that the skids are, you know, slightly pointed up like a ski would be, you know, so they don't, you know, catch or drag in the front. I popped the cover off just to take a look at the belts, and they are fine. Most of the snowblowers that I encounter are garage kept. They're not used much in this area. So you can see that belt is fine. It has no cracks in it whatsoever. This one is the same. I don't know if you can see it, but these belts are fine. No cracks, no nothing. Last order of business here is to put the choke back on and the cover. Unfortunately, when I took off, when I swapped carburetors, I stripped one of the screws. I was able to get it out with a pair of vice grips, but it definitely stripped. And I have here are a set of 1032 by 1/2 inch stainless steel cap screws, hex head. All back together. That concludes the service on this Craftsman snowblower. You know, I hope to put out more videos in the future, but been busy lately, been on business travel. I'm going to put out videos whenever I can, and sometimes that might, you know, there might be a long gap between updates. But I hope to be working on some stuff soon. And if you like these videos, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on the next one.